Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. I'm Jenny McCormack. It's not often you get to see me on camera, but I thought I would start off on camera for a change. So I do hope you're well. It's Friday evening, the 14th of January, and I'm doing a Facebook Live out of my normal routine. Normally I don't do anything on a Friday, but there was one more design of card that I wanted to do with the driving by stamp set. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to finish the week with an extra live and the sample that I wanted to create. And this one's been something I've been thinking about doing all week. So I'm going to give it a go this evening. No idea if it's going to work or not. We'll soon find out. So I hope everybody is keeping well. I hope that you've had a good week and that you have something nice lined up for the weekend, or at least some downtime or time with your families and friends. Hi Kerry, lovely to see you. Good morning to you, because it's Saturday morning for you already. For those of you that don't know, Kerry's down in Australia. So good morning to Kerry. So we've been using the driving by stamp set all week, which is this one here. Now that's the right way around for me, so I hope it is for you too. And what I wanted to do was match this with the Give It a Whirl dies, and that's the one that with the wheel that spins round. So I'm going to switch cameras, show you what I prepared. I've done a little bit of die cutting but no stamping yet, and see whether we can make this work. It's one of those things, 50-50. It's either going to work or it isn't. So let me change cameras and let's see what we can do. So there we go. Here is our crafting table. And these are some of the cards that we've been making during the week. So you've seen me do this one, and then we had this one with the Stamparatus, and then we had this one yesterday with the Stamparatus, stamping in the round, and that's almost what gave me the idea for the dies today. And then at Coffee and Card, we've been making some extra ones. So there's one just with the single card with the presents, and then we were just having a play today so we could get 3 different types on one, doing the 3 camper vans. And then this one was a take on this one here on a smaller scale, so it fitted a note card, an envelope, and just hand stamped, not stamped close together with the Stamparatus. So that seemed to work absolutely fine. So I'll finish these ones off, finished colouring them in. So let me show you what I have prepared so far and see whether we can make this work. So I've used the Give It a Whirl dies, and the parts that I've used for this is this one here for the front piece, this one here for the panel that's going to have the design printed on it, the cars, and then this one here to create the window. So what I've done is I'm going to start with a base card of basic grey. I've then cut another layer with this die, which has the hole in it, ready for this piece here. So these two line up and spin around. And then I've added this window here. Now this is the larger of the windows. I'm hoping that the small little car is going to fit, or near enough fit. So what we're going to do is this is going to be placed onto this card. I decided that all grey looked a bit boring, so what I've done is I've actually used some of our retired Christmas papers, but I thought this looked a bit like a road surface, a wet road surface. So what I did was I just cut out a piece like so, and then I put this piece underneath my grey piece I'd already cut out. I popped this in the aperture that was already there, so that these two match up exactly. And the reason for that is I just want this to have a little bit more substance. If you just have a single layer of paper, it will work, but if you can layer it onto a piece of card, that's even better. You can see that lovely glistening silver embossing. You could also put this through an embossing folder if you wanted to. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach these two layers together so they're basically one layer. So all I'm going to do for that is just add some glue either on the front or the back, it doesn't really matter, because they're the same size. So let's put some onto the front of the basic grey. So a light scribble, like so. Okay, and then relatively close to the edges, because I don't want this to separate, but only using a small amount of glue, just a fine line of glue. Just round there and here. So I hope you're well, Kerry, this morning. So just going to lay those together. I need to take my glasses off so I can just get them put together nicely. And they should fit exactly, because this has come from a die cut. Doesn't quite go on straight. I think I'll be alright. Like so. Okay, so this layer is going to go on top of that. It's going to have a brad in it, and then this piece is going to spin round using this wheel here. So what I want to be able to do, and I've just thought of something that I was going to do before I stuck those together, but never mind. I might be able to do it. Yes, I might be able to do it this way. So what I wanted to do was stamp the car through this window, but without getting the ink anywhere here. So my plan, oh, very nice, it's been minus, I think it was -4 overnight last night here, so it's been very crisp all day long. So what I'm going to do, because this is got to be the same either side, is I'm going to use the back of this and just line this up, because what I want to do is stamp my car in this little panel. So, sorry, the glasses are off again. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do, very lightly, is adhere some tape to this. Like so. So that I can just going to work out whether this is going to work. Oh, just do one and see. It's got to work, hasn't it? She says it's got to work. Okay, let me find the stamp set and the car. So what I'm thinking is, can you see this car, if I put this one on top, will fit, just fit in there. So this could, it's cold, this could go completely wrong, but let's see. Let's see. But I don't want the top in here, because it will, the top, if I print it on here, will show around here as the card goes round. Remember, this is actually going to be the front. So let's give it a go. No harm can come to this, because this, although this is the front panel, this is the back that I'm stamping onto. Let's use, I'm going to use Early Espresso. It should work. It should work. Absolutely, Kerry. It should work. Okay. I'm actually going to put a piece of paper underneath here, so it doesn't go onto there. And you could, of course, mask this off, no trouble at all. So let's give it a go and see. Okay, so I'm going to push fairly hard because I want it to go through, obviously, that aperture. Okay, that one worked, like so. So I'm just going to repeat that. So I'm going to turn this layer round to the next segment. So it's very useful that there are markings on this back panel, because you can see exactly where it's going to fit. And I'm going to do the same and pop some tape onto the back just to hold that in place. Rather well used tape. Okay, take two. So I've positioned it just a little way down from the top, because I don't mind if the wheels are slightly off, but I don't want to lose the roof. Yep. So 1, 2, and then this one will be the final one. And I haven't put the brad in, because if the brad was there I wouldn't be able to stamp cleanly. Okay, I think the brad would lift it up and get in the way a little bit, so I'm just moving this round. So what I would do next time I'm doing it is stamp onto this before I put the layer on the top, and then it's completely covered. Not that you'll see the back of this anyway, to be honest. Okay, so this is number 3, and again a little way down from the top. Hopefully I've done it enough. It's a little bit close, but I think I'll be alright. Okay, let me remove that then. I think that tape has definitely seen better days. Time for that to go. Okay, so there's our front, and there's our 3 cards. So I wasn't exactly spot on, you can see here. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of pen there, although I think when I colour it, I think we'll probably get away with it. But what colour? I did that espresso. So I do have a brown pen. Not that you can see this is particularly brown, to be honest. And all I'm doing is tiny little dots to join these up. Okay, I'm not drawing a line, because it's easy then for it to go completely out of kilter. I'm just doing tiny dots to make that line join together. I'll bring it up to the screen so you can see it, to the camera. Hello Brenda, and hi Christine. Lovely to have you two ladies join Kerry and I, and anybody else who's watching. So now we've got 3 cars in our circle for our Give It a Whirl die. So theoretically we should be able to turn this and see 3 different cars. Now I've chosen this one because this is the smallest image, and because the camper van you just wouldn't see enough of it. I suppose you could do just the front of it, but that wouldn't be very effective. This one would work, but I thought the strings of the balloon might look odd, so I did decide on this, knowing that when it was stamped it would roughly cut the parcels out. Thank you. It's good to be with you too. It's good to have company, especially when I'm not normally here on a Friday. So we're building on the cards that we've made earlier this week. I know Brenda has seen some of these. I don't know how many you've seen, Christine. And I did this one yesterday just with the Stamparatus, stamping in the round, which gave me the idea of using my Give It a Whirl dies. So what I've got is a basic grey card. I've cut out a panel with the die in basic grey, and I've also cut this designer series paper, which I wanted to look like a road, and adhered the two together to give it just a little bit more weight. And then this is going to go behind, and I'm going to colour in those cars, okay, and then add a sentiment on. So I've also got this tire here that's just very slightly missing its corner, so I'm going to do the same. Just dotting in rather than drawing a line. So if you draw a line and it's not quite joined up, it really does stand out. Whereas if you just got a few dots and it's missing a little bit, it really doesn't matter. So let me move these dies out of the way. I'm going to do a quick bit of colouring in of this, and then we'll put the card together and see if it actually works. So I'm going with the set of red, a bit of racing green, and one other colour. So you can choose the other colour, ladies, between you. I'm just going to colour this in. So I'm going to use dark Poppy Parade. I'm just going to colour the whole car in one. So just using this along the edges and the boot. Just coming in from the edge. So this is dark Poppy Parade. I'm going to add a little bit of Pool Party to the window. There we go. Just a bit of shadow there where the door opens. And just a little bit of shading in here, and then I've got some light greys Then I'm going to do the tyres. I've got light grey granite, I've got light smoky slate. Right. A bit there. And apologise, I haven't got my glasses on because I'm colouring in. So if you're commenting, I will check in a second. So I do apologise if you've asked me anything and I haven't answered yet. Okay. So that's the main body of the car. I'm going to give this one some red hubcaps, why not? And then a little bit of light pool party for the window. So just a bit of feathering like so, a bit of the colour lifter to lighten it, like so. And then what have we got? Light smoky slate. Around this hubcap. And for the bumpers, like that. And then I've got light grey granite. Goodness me, I can't speak this evening. For the tyres, 1 and 2. Like that. Okay, and then we're on to the next one. So let me see if I'm missing any comments. What were the colour choices? Oh, okay. So colour choices, well, almost anything else really. So yellows or blues. This one is actually Seaside Spray, an old colour. This one is Mango Melody, which I rather like. Right, the next one's going to be green. Oh yes, the reason for dotting is that it's, you know, much more forgiving to just add tiny little dots, because if you draw a line and it's not lined up, the temptation is to add another line. And this is the wrong green, bear with me. I've got light granny apple, I need a dark granny apple. This one. So I always just dot if I'm missing a little bit. So any colour choice within reason. I think I've got just about all the blends pens. So just adding this bit of dark. And also you could do more with this. You could add in some sky as well, but you're not really going to see much of it, to be honest, because you're only going to see what pops up in the window, aren't you? There we go. So I hope everybody's got something nice planned for the weekend, whether it's downtime or just time at home with the family, with your husbands, whatever. Not husbands plural, just one at a time, please. Okay, just going to colour this one in, and then let me know what colour you want for the other car. one's definitely in need of replacement soon, I think. Go. What's that? Oh, do that hubcap. And same thing again, a little bit of Pool Party, which I'm going to colour lift. Like so. And then Smoky Slate and Grey Granite. And also you could use black as well for the ties if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. Normally I would put some movement underneath the cars as well to make it look like they were moving, but I don't think you're going to actually see it. Okay. That one, I'll just do the tires while I'm here, and then let me know what colour you think for the final car. Doesn't have to be a specific Stampin' Up colour, just blue or orange or yellow. Go. Bumpers. Right, glasses on. Let me communicate. Crushed curry, says Christine. Kerry wants to get the new blends. Pumpkin pie. Let's have a look. Let's see which colour I find first. I've certainly got one pumpkin pie. Let me see if I can find the other one. And the reason why I'm struggling is because I've been at Coffee and Card this afternoon, so I've packed everything into my bags for this afternoon, including all my blend spoons. And they don't necessarily come back out in the same order. Right, there's one more bag to try. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Right, and we have pumpkin pie. So crushed curry, I don't think, but don't quote me on this, I don't think we have blend pens with crushed curry. Don't ask me why, or if we do, I haven't got them. I know we have daffodil, we have so saffron, and we have mango. I don't know what the ruling is in terms of what they decide. So this is dark pumpkin pie. There we go. This is an old one, this is an original one, and I can tell by the layers of washi tape that I've added. So the original replacement blends, because we brought out some initially and we weren't happy, or Stampin' Up weren't happy with the coverage, they got withdrawn. And these were the first lot of replacements, and that was 2018. So three years plus, depending on when in 2018 I bought these particular ones. Now it's looking quite patchy, and that's because my light blends pen has a lot less ink than my dark blends pen, so there's a difference. So all I'm going to do is just do a little bit more blending here. Hopefully it will be enough. Okay, so this is the one where I had the missing bit at the top, and I've just added a tiny little bit of dot. But I don't think, I mean, I know to look for it, and you know now to look for it, but I don't think it's really obvious at all. It almost looks like it's part of the design. Okay, oh, and let's do these two. Okay, let's see. Hi Tracy, hope you're well, Tracy. So having a little bit of fun with the Give It a Whirl dies and driving by, and I've used this almost like a little mask to stamp each of those cars in that little gap, and that actually takes out the little presents on the top, which is perfect. So let's find a brad. Steal one from my class preparation. Could be using these with the windmills. I think I just want a smallish one. If I could find one. I've taken them all out of here. Let's see if we can get away with that. Maybe I can. Yeah. Let's try. Yeah, so they're black and white. I was thinking there was a grey one in there. Okay, so I'm going to just pop this one through, just closing the pins at the back there, like so. Pop it through my panel I've just created. Okay, and then bend these back. Oh, it needs to go the right way, doesn't it? There we go. That works, she says, quite surprised. Actually, pumpkin pie does look good. It was a good choice. There we go. So I don't think I've done those windows. Let me just do that. So that. Okay, so this is going to go onto here, and I'm going to lift this up with some dimensionals like that. So I'm going to pop these around here. You don't want to get too close to the spinning action here, okay, otherwise you'll stop it from spinning. And there they are. I knew I had a new packet here. Oh, thank you, Tracy. It was one of those that I think you were watching earlier in the week, weren't you? I said I'm going to try it. This is a vision. Sometimes my visions work. So sometimes they don't. Okay, so just going to put these around the edges. And as I say, I very rarely, if ever, do I use retired papers. But I just wanted something that looked like a road, which is why I've used that one, which is from the Christmas papers. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. Okay, just going to cut a little piece along the top here. So there we go, just ping these off like that. And then I'm just going to centralize this. Now this panel is designed for an American sized card, which is why it's slightly different size top and bottom, so I can have it straight on these sides, but it's got a slight height difference. Actually it's not straight either, but never mind. So all that remains for this is to add a sentiment. I could add the little arrow that tells you to move this up there, but I think what I'm going to do is just draw a little arrow, and if I've got a white pen I'll do it with that. There are some arrows with the die, so you could cut out a little arrow, but Friday night, just a bit too late for that. And I want the arrow to go this way, don't I? Like that. There we go. So I haven't I'm not going to move that just yet because that's wet. I haven't decided what sentiment I'm going to add. I might add the driving by just to say hi, or I might add it as a birthday one. So it worked. I hope you like it. A great end to the week. So I'm just going to let that gel pen dry, and then I will add I might look for a different sentiment, I'm not quite sure, but there we go. So thank you for popping by on a Friday evening. I might do a Friday evening a little bit more often, so we'll see how we go. I won't promise, but we'll see how we go. So they do pop with the dark DSP, don't they? And that was the effect I wanted. So here we are back. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I do hope you all have a great weekend. It would make a good birthday card. I think I'll probably make a birthday sentiment, so but I will photograph and show you the finished thing once that gel pen has dried. I'm not risking anything else, and then I'll photograph it, do a little video of it spinning. So thank you for joining me. I do hope everybody stays well, look after your loved ones, look after each other and yourselves, and have a good weekend and keep crafting. And I look forward to crafting with you all next week. Thank you for joining me live. If you're joining me on replay or catch up and you have any comments or questions, just add a comment either on Facebook or YouTube. I'll check those on a regular basis and get back to you. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye for now. Cheers.